All right, welcome back. Thirsty Thursday number 54. And we are honored tonight to have one of the best from Baltimore City. And we're not talking about the guy on the bottom this time.
Oh,
We're talking about Lieutenant
over.
Darryll Williams. Uh, and we're gonna let Mike and the lieutenant talk about um, all the stuff that he has done in the city. Um, so I'm not going to waste a whole lot more time. Happy St. Patty's Day for the show. It's officially tomorrow, but we're going to celebrate a little tonight. So cheers.
Cheers.
Why is that empty?
It's not. It's in there. It's
Oh,
hard to
okay.
see. There's ice in there.
So I will say before I let those guys take it away and just kind of sit back and enjoy the show that this one, holy cow, we are less than a minute in and we already have close to 30 people watching. So thank you guys for joining us. LT, that has everything to do with who you are and what you've done over your career in Baltimore City. So thank you. Um, Holy cow. This show, particularly over the past week since we posted it, has had a ton of engagement and a ton of reactions and stuff on our social media. It has been shared across our Facebook and social media. So, really looking forward to tonight's show. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff across the bottom where it says Thirsty Thursday. We're going to get rid of that. And holy cow, the comments are already blowing up. This is awesome. So I'm just gonna sit back, enjoy the show, listen to you guys chat, and flash up some of these comments across the bottom just because they're going to be good stuff all night. So, with that being said, uh, Mike, you want to start us off, and then we'll send it up to the LT and kick this thing off.
Yeah, I'll lead it in, man. It, it- so Lieutenant Williams doesn't need an introduction. He's the man, uh, and you know that because he doesn't have to tell anybody about it. Everyone else talks for him. So uh, this guy has had 29 years at one of the busiest engine companies in the country. So, and I want to get specific with that because we throw numbers around all the time, and you read them in Firehouse Magazine and Fire Engineering. But let's get specific with our numbers. When we say one of the busiest firehouses in the country, Engine 14 in Baltimore City averages a fire about every 96 hours. And 50% or better of those fires are their first due and they are first in. So understand those statistics and then apply them to the man sitting at the top of the screen here. He has done 29 years there as a firefighter and as an officer. So he has seen both sides of that cab, the front and the back, and it's just an honor to have somebody like this on this show. So much knowledge over the years. He's seen so many great things and tragedy alike, um, especially recently. And we're honored. I'm excited. There's this is one of those guests that it's very hard to fill these shoes. So um, I'm going to kick it up to you, Lieutenant, and let you introduce yourself for everybody that doesn't know you. And I know how humble you are. The entire fire department in Baltimore City knows how humble you are. So I'm not asking you to say anything that you don't want to say, but I just want everybody to be able to wrap their head around who you really are.
Well, thank you, Ben. Uh, Thank you, Mike. I've known Mike for, I guess, almost 20 years. Uh, Darryll Williams, I'm a lieutenant in the safety officer number 2 A shift. I was a member of Engine 14, right here. Where is it? Right here. Uh, 91, I came in the job August of 91. I was assigned to Engine 14 at the Fire Academy. And there I spent 13 years there as a fireman. In 2004, I was promoted and made, to lieutenant. I went to 55 engine for 2 years. Good group of guys, and at on Bush Street down there, and I was able to make it back to Engine 14. Lieutenant Parker was making captain, and I was able to slide back into 14 Engine, and I spent 16 years there as a lieutenant, and it was an experience. It was tough, demanding. Even times when we had downtime, we always like worshiped each other and practiced with each other and trained. So it was a tight knit group there. The firehouse has been around. My gosh, 1888, the year it was built. But when I got there in '91, we had seasoned firemen, just like uh, Captain Feely was the captain there, and it was a tradition. Like the fire department and Baltimore City firemen, we show up, we support each other, no matter what. And in the beginning, you had to earn your stripes, and you just kept your mouth shut. You did your job. Yes sir, no sir. I'll get right on it. That was how I was taught once I got the 14 Engine, and it's been a interesting years in the beginning as a fireman, because you're learning and you're not, say for example, you don't want to disappoint any other people at the firehouse. Traditionally, firemen, we bang on our chests and we disagree with one another. And then once the gong goes off, Mike will tell you, and Ben, we all get together, and it's weird, we become one. And I took pride in that. I still take pride in that. And there was fires in the city before I got the 14 Engine, and it's fires now that I haven't been there in a year. So, hey, anything else is like I have no qualms, about my time at 14 Engine. If I had to do it all over again, I would want to be a fireman at 14 Engine and be a lieutenant there. I enjoyed my time there. And unfortunately, with what happened last year on the 24th, it's been it's been a couple months, a year and a couple months, and it's every day is to be honest is painful, and you reflect, and there's nothing you can do about it, but we press on and hope and pray that that never happens again, and hope and pray that we can just continue to be good firemen like we signed up to be. When you take that oath, life and property, you have to take that serious about wanting to do this job, because it's not just a regular job, it's a passion. It's a passion, and the more passionate you are, 10 times out of 10, the better fireman or firefighter, I should say, you'll be.
And I'm gonna piggyback on something you brought up in your introduction there, Lou. Uh, for those viewers that don't know, and you said Engine 14. What was the year that was built, Lou?
1888.
1888. So, for those people that don't know, Engine 14 stands alone. It is a traditional, straight out of what you'd see in the movies, two-story single firehouse that is brick and brownstone, and it has the small tile work inside and the poles, and it's everything that you would think when you think of old school cool. Um, and just like the firehouse, the tradition and everything has kind of just embodied the people that have been there, and as well as the things that they do within the confines of those walls. But you brought up tradition there, Lou, and that's always a big subject in today's fire service. You also alluded to the being passionate about it. Traditions have changed over the years, and things have changed, and some traditions good, some bad. Is there any specific things that you feel tradition-wise that are still of significant value today that we should definitely, as a fire service, make sure that we kind of wrap our arms around and try to protect? Um, you know, anything that creeps up from your past when you were starting out up until now.
Camaraderie. Once you come into the firehouse and you drive you're on a fire engine or either a fire truck, you have to establish a camaraderie, and no matter what the differences you all have, Democrat, Republican, affluent, middle class, not not low class, but not a lot of money. You put all those issues in terminologies and all the boxes that you fit in. You have to put that to the side because that fire doesn't care. When the gong goes off and you're inside that burning building, that fire doesn't care if you loaned your mother $5 or you loaned you co-sign for your uncle. That fire don't give a crap. So you're in there with people that depending on you, if you're on the pipe, you got to put this fire out. You got truckmen waiting, to do that thing. You got your officer behind you, and if you're not moving at a pace, they'll let you know. You got to do better next time. You got to move with a sense of urgency. All this being safe, but people depend on you to go and get it. If there's a report of people trapped, that's why we're aggressive, and we don't have blinders on, but we move with a quickness, and you got to go get that fire. And if it's not safe, then we pull back and reset. So I guess camaraderie. You may not like the person that's driving you, your PO, but guess what? He got to give you water, or she has to give you water. And they're going to give you water. And what you going to do with it when you have it? There's no cameras. It won't be any reporters. It's not glory because it's 2:00 in the morning, 20 degrees out, and the house is on fire. And it's just, 4 engines, 2 trucks, and a chief. And we try to go in there and extinguish this fire, get this person out. That's what we do. And if you want to be rich, this ain't the job for you. You won't be rich. If you want to be a celebrity, nobody cares about firemen until their house is on fire. So, it's a passion. It's a drive. It's what you wanted to do, Mike, when you were a kid, and Ben as well. It's what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And then you carry through and you reach some of your goals, and here you are. You have on this uniform. You're a fireman. You finished your fire academy. You're a fireman. And they said, man, you're signed a 14 engine. I'm like, man. And the guy told me, he's like, you ever catch a train? I said, yeah, I've been on the platform waiting for a train. Slows down, you get on it. He said, not at 14 engine. The guy said, oh no, you got to jump on that train that's moving. That's what the instructor at the time told me out the fire academy. Captain Bogdan. He called me a wheel chalk, and then he pulled me to the side. He said, you're going to 14 engine. Me and a guy, Levy Pearson, he said, you ever get on a train that's moving? No, it's always stopped. He said, no, 14 engine. That's how it was. We got there, you introduced yourself, and then I got assigned there in August of 91, and I didn't have a lot of fires, but I had a lot of medic calls. Captain Philly, we had several full arrests, and I didn't get a fire for months. So it's not always about, you get there, you want to get a fire. No, you got to do what you're supposed to do as an EMT, chest compressions, drive the medic to the hospital. I mean, is glory filled? No, but you're saving a life, you're doing your best to save a life. And that's what I did for months. It was so bad that I had to have a fire. I'm at the Great 14 engine. I hadn't had a fire for 3 or 4 months in the job. I would get detailed to engine 24, Patterson Park. I think Captain Ripstock was there. I show up. He said, "Oh man, 14 engines, you've had fires." And I said, "Nah, Cap, not yet." It's like, okay. And then I go to 15 truck. I was detailed over there. the old C shift. It was just 3 shifts for firemen. The officers had 4 shifts, and I had experienced the fire. But when it comes, it comes. Mike, you do I remember my first fire? Not really, because I did a lot of medic calls before that. So it was just like the nerves and not wanting to disappoint, the tradition and the guys that were there. You see how passionate they were about their job. He's like, man, I got to get myself together. I got to be ready. I got to be rested. You have to have a physical regimen. You can't be out of shape and think you're going to fight fire. No, the air pack is heavy. The gear is heavy. You're going to put it on so many times that it becomes your second skin. So it's I say camaraderie, and you fit in, and then you go from there. You become a unit. You become, like I said, you become as one, and you don't want to be a weak link. Don't want to be a weak link, because the people depend on us. They call us when stuff is bad. They don't call us when we only get called when crap is bad.
Right.
You got to be able to fix the situation, and that's what we do. That's what all of us. That's what we do for a living. That's what we signed up for. And don't complain if they call you every hour or every 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Lou, did you know anything about 14 engine before you went there?
Not at all. I grew up maybe 12 blocks from 14 engine. I was 6 blocks from the closest firehouse, which is 36 engine, around the corner from where I live. So I knew all about 36 engine. I knew about engine 8 and 10 truck on Gilmore, because the library was there, and I had to walk to the library past that firehouse, and I would always glance over at 8 engine 10 truck. But when they said you're assigned to 14 engine, I said, there's no firehouse on Holland Street, and in the middle of the block, there was the firehouse. It was, I got assigned there, and I'm like, I'll be there. So I absolutely knew nothing about engine 14. I knew about a couple fire companies, and then, voila, they assigned me to 14 engine, myself and Levy Pearson. So yeah, I didn't know.
And I agree with you on the camaraderie front. I think there's a lot of departments that have yet to see the benefit of having house integrity and crew integrity to build that camaraderie and to function, just as you said, to function almost as one creature, knowing each other's abilities and nuances and being able to predict what the other one's doing. That leads me into something that I wanted to get your opinion on, because a lot of people that I'm sure are watching right now, coming from a standpoint of, such a decorated officer on an engine company, what do you think is the best attributes for a pipeman or a nozzle, a nozzleman, that nozzle firefighter? What do you think are the characteristics of producing, a top notch person to be on the end of that pipe?
You need to initially no fear, tentative. You initially no. You need experience, Mike. You need like muscle memory. You need to do it. Whether you start off with a small one-room fire in content, fully involved dwelling where it takes several pipemen. You need to be, I guess, you got to be aggressive, and most of all, mental fortitude, because you're going to be in there and it's going to be hot, 700 degrees, 800 degrees, and you have to be able to push through that mentally before you even get to the seat of the fire. Sometimes you go into a dwelling and it's extremely hot and dark, and the fire may be in the basement, and you're not in the basement yet. You're on the first floor. So you know in your mind, and you have your officer, and you have a truck guy, and you have the mental fortitude is paramount because you're about to go embark on something that a lot of people, couldn't do. A lot of people thought that they can do it until they're faced with that flame licking from the bottom of the steps up, and you got to go down and extinguish that fire. So it's not a place for the being on the pipe. Is not if you're not prepared for it, then you step aside and let your officer do it, or transfer it to a slower company. Uh, but that's it. You got to be mentally tough first, and physically fit, and you got to have that pipe person. You're not by yourself. Even though you're on the pipe and you're the eyes, you're the point person, you have an officer that's with you, that's another set of eyes. And until you get that experience, that officer is with you every step of the way. And that's how it was with me. My officers were Captain Feely, Lieutenant Kakuka, Lieutenant Condry. They stayed with you and made sure you made a left, a right, put this pad into the ceiling, open the pipe up, turn it on the fall, turn on the straight stream. Then, once you get a few fires under your belt, your officer will sit down with you and say, okay, I may not be on you as closely. I could be a foot or two behind you, and I'm searching, me and the truck guy. So they give you that if you pass that test, if you've done enough fires and you secure, they allow you that. So, and you take that with a badge of honor. You don't think that, oh yeah, I got, you patting yourself on the chest and I got to know, because the fire will humble you, because you'll have some fires where you won't be able to extinguish it. You need help. You need a second hand line. You need engine A coming in the back, engine 36. That's when the teamwork comes. So as a pipe person, no fear, mental fortitude, because that'll make you think whether or not this was the profession for you. Is this the job that I signed up for? Because some people think that it's the meals and sitting at the table and watching sports in it and debating stuff. But once that gong goes off, 5 minutes later, you're in the middle of a burning building. That's some career choices going through your mind, saying maybe I should be a UPS or Amazon. So, mental fortitude, Mike. Mental fortitude.
I got it.
And I think like the LT mentioned at the beginning, like when you first start out as that in that position, like you have to have no fear. Like if you come into that spot and you're already second guessing yourself, you're never going to make it.
Yeah. People running out of the building. Running out of the building.
Yeah.
And we running in.
Yeah. And then having that lieutenant or that officer right there behind you, like you said, keep going. There's a reel or a TikTok, I'm not sure what they're called, TikTok, Insta-tweet, whatever the heck it is, of Captain John Vigiano from FDNY. He says, as an officer, you have to show that person where they can go and how far they can go. So it's if they've never been there before, they don't know until they're taken there. So it's just as much credit back to having a good company officer to develop that good nozzle, that good pipeman, to get them there. So I think like you basically said the same thing, but it's having no fear to get there, and then someone right there, hey, you're good, keep going, you're good. So I think those are all great points.
So in preparation for you being on the show, Lou, I talked to some pipemen in Baltimore City and a couple down in Ocean City about what they believe is the best attributes of an engine lieutenant. And so I actually inquired with one of the best pipemen that I believe that Baltimore has. I'm not going to throw his name out there, but he pointed out some of the things that you just said, and the glaring commonality in talking to all of them was that you need to have an officer that can see the big picture and can kind of control your steps in times of doubt. What you brought up, some of the tactics that your officers, when you were first at 14 Engine, some of the things that they did, in talking about like positioning yourself behind your pipe man or the nozzleman, what have you felt is optimal, like as far as distance goes, and certain like conversation or commands to instill that type of confidence in your pipe man as you go along? Is, because we always hear about officers that are just pushing them forward, like, come on, get in there, kicking them in the back. What's your take on all that?
Well, I found it best to be an arm's length away, so you can grab the pipe person, or if the pipe person knows that you're there, not to be overexcited or screaming, just because sometimes aggressive is not the best way, but it gets the job done. Because when I was on the pipe a lot, if you weren't moving fast enough, they say, okay, all right, rookie, step it up, increase it, let's go. And that's your security blanket. Hearing the senior guys tell you it's okay to move forward. And you move forward as a new person, you take it all in, because there's no way you're going to be able to, as a new person on the pipe, to figure it out on your own. You see the fire, and you're making your way to the seat of the fire, but you're not seeing a hole to the left, or the staircase missing to the second floor, and you got to go to the second floor. You see the kid moving through the dwelling, and you see the kitchen fire in the rear, and you see the steps are missing, but you're new. You're just seeing, the fire. But your officer will say, okay, hit it, and let's go to the right. And you hit it, and it's dark. It's like, uh-oh, it got dark. Where is everything? You can lose your bearings really fast. And when you have, thank goodness at 14 Engine, we surrounded by good companies. So they're coming from all angles. So now you're in there, and they're waiting for you to make a move. You don't remember where the steps were? You got to have a photographic memory and take a quick picture of this place that's lit off and well lit, because once you hit that flame with the hose and water, it's dark. And you have furniture. Like I said, you could have a hole in the floor. You got to remember where that hole was. You got to remember where the staircase was. You don't want to make a left turn, and you're in a closet now. So that's where there's no way a new pipe person can get all of that at once. It comes with experience. It comes with fires in these vacates. It comes with fires in occupied dwellings. It comes from warehouse fires. It comes from medic calls where fires is kept. That's where the guys at 14 Engine, we learned the layout of these houses on the 25 medic calls we take a shift. We go into these houses and we take a look around. Just like, okay, all right, staircase on the left, staircase on the right. And you remember that because every layout is different. But if you get a fire in the house 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, I was in here on a medic call, and this, that, and the other. So there's a lot of things that you do when you're not fighting fire that helps you when you fight a fire. Everything, the planning, the execution, the layout. Walk around the house. We would walk around the houses at the medic call. We go around the rear of all these houses, and we did that consistently. We didn't stop, whether it be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the morning. Wait for a medic. This is the plug. This is the hydrant. You're trying to hone your craft. You're trying to, as Bobby Guy would say, shave a second off a second. We do those things. He learned from Sam Darby to be aggressive and be smart, and it's a tradition. And sometimes you don't know who said it or why they said it, but it works, and it makes you better. It makes your team better, and unfortunately, you feel like you have it figured out. I got this. I'm gonna do my best because I know where this plug is. When the address comes out and that gong goes, I know where this plug is. I know where this house is. and you feel good because once you get there and it's a success. You extinguish the fire, no injuries to civilians, no injuries to firefighters. Job mission complete for that one time, and that's just one time. And you can't say, "Oh, we had one fire today and we extinguished it and nobody was injured and that's it." No, that's not it. You may have another fire. You have 22 hours to go. You have another 5 years or 20 years or 25 years. So we're never done. You're never finished. It's never quote unquote the end of the day, because it's the end of the day for us, Mike, when it's A shift, but B shift's coming. So it's the start of the day for them. It's the end of the day for us. And right now, they probably somewhere fighting a fire as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is, and that's how you think, and that'll keep the tradition. That's all it is. Trying to not disappoint the people that came before us, the people that's working now, and the people that's working, in the future.
I love it, man. I hope people that are listening are feeling what you're putting off with the passion of this job, even after 30 plus years at such a busy company. And it's still just, I mean, it radiates off you, man. And I know how aggressive those companies are around you over there at 14. How many times with a new pipe person have you and viewers can't tell your build from this show, obviously, but Lieutenant Williams is a pretty big dude. I first ran into him over and over again in the gym. So the guy's he's a big dude, and he'll tower over you. How many times have you had to keep the wolves at bay, so to speak, and keep some of these aggressive other companies off of a new pipe person, or block them out? Has that happened a lot?
Hundreds of times. Even as a rookie fireman, not knowing a lot, but you knew how to be aggressive because the officers at 14 Engine said, "Follow me." Sometimes, if we were in a first in fire, we were going to a 30 box, and they were, companies are already set up. Truck guys have already opened up, engine guys, and officers will say, "Follow me," and you're a rookie, and you're walking over people to get to fire. So you learn to protect yourself. And if it's your first in fire, your first due, you don't want that to happen. So you try to be as aggressive as possible. We would go against 8 Engine, and I mean, those guys were awesome in the 90s. They're awesome to this day. They were awesome when I was there. If you snooze, you lose. They coming. 13 Engine, I had to deal with those guys up there. Donnie Wall, who's been doing it, my gosh, he's 30 plus years at 13 Engine. Captain Jimmy Smith, Lieutenant Stafford was there. When Lieutenant Stafford was a firefighter, we used to battle over nothing. It would be a dryer fire, but we wanted to be there first. 13 Engine firefighter Stafford, we want to be there first, and we would actually put hands on each other over the pipe. And at that time I was 180 pounds and he was 180 pounds. So we just knew that was the tradition. Get it, fighting over it. 36 Engine Lieutenant, Captain Cash now, but 36 Engine, he was a lieutenant. I was comfortable. He showed up and he made me we stepped up our game when Woodhouse at 36 Engine and Lieutenant Kenny Cash got there because they were coming. They made no secrets that we're aggressive, we young, and we coming for 14 Engine. And they did. And we battled. And it was all in good fun because after it was done, we embraced, we talked about it, and they say, "Oh, next time we're gonna follow the rules." They didn't follow the rules. They just tell us fibs, and they do the same thing again. Same with 8 Engine, and they had experienced guys, Moose, Captain Williams, Keith Townsend. Those guys, the Novak brothers, were new to the game. So that's the good thing, Mike, about this job. You're always gonna have people coming in that want to do this job, and they're going to be good at it. So you always got to stay on your game. And once you become, when you get older and you say, "Man, this is the fire department is in good hands, and you can see that too. Even though we complain and what have you, when that gong goes off, we're aggressive and we out there to fight fires, save lives, and property, and the whole kit and caboodle. It's not just a slogan. You know, if you're a citizen of Baltimore, you see that it's dilapidation all around, but you look on that fire engine, that fire truck, those men and women are coming for you regardless. If you could watch on the news and say, oh, it's violence and nobody cares, the people on that fire engine and that fire truck care, because they wouldn't be on it if they didn't. Because it ain't the money. It's not the money. It's not the money. And those medics, you know, Mike, they care just as much. They in the streets and they don't come back to the firehouse. They come in the morning at 7 and you don't see them until 5. You know, come in at 5, you don't see them until 10, 11 at night. So that's the great thing about being a fireman. You know, all my friends that think, oh, you guys, you know, cook dinner and wash your cars. Nah, it's a little more than that, man. You come sit down at the firehouse kitchen table and you see people from, you know, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, New York, my man, the Klepp brothers, they come down from New York to join the BCFD. You know, they could have joined other places, but they come here because it's a tradition and you feel it and it's not fake, it's genuine. You know, even with the administration, that changes. Right now, we got Chief Stewart at the top, Chief Surveiller. You know, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. BCFD is pride. It's I don't know where we rank in the United States of America, but it's number one in my heart.
Understood.
I think. Well, first we got Bobby in here. So, hey, Bobby, how's it going, man? You there? Maybe.
Might not be there.
All right. Well, I just wanted to drop a little nugget that I picked up off of that. You know, LT, you said something about.
All right. Hey, no, I was down here in Tennessee. I had time to go. Oh shit. Nothing.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, this Tennessee internet thing's not working so good. I'm standing on top of a picnic table right now, and
it's almost as good as that slower.
That's actually why I'm late. We're not supposed to be on for another 20 minutes because I switched to Central Time. I didn't even realize it. Mike sent me that text. I was out running errands, picking stuff up. so no disrespect to you, Mr. Darryll.
I just, you know, the LT was saying 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, you guys on that medic run, you guys going around looking at the rest of the building, you're checking everything out. And that comes from the passion, and it starts with the company officer. It goes to the senior person. It goes to the whole company, and that from company to company is what builds the culture of that department. And that's, you know, you just said everything that makes that department the best. One, we're coming for you, no matter what. Like that's your job. That's what you're going to do. And that's awesome. You know, like to have a department with a culture and a passion that's the same across the board for the most part. Like there's going to be little pockets here and there, but the passion that's like that is next level, you know, and that's why we have, you know, as many people watching as we do, as many people that were excited for you to come on tonight and for the amazing things that people are saying about you, LT. Like that's the result is the passion, the culture, just the amazing stuff that we're seeing. You know, it's just it all makes sense.
So you got you got quite the legacy there, Lieutenant. But I want to ask you this because Bobby is extremely engine savvy. Like he's a tactician on an engine. But of all the fires that you could go to, be it in a 3-story row, a warehouse, you know, a basement fire, a 3rd floor fire, or a single family home, what type of fire or what occupancy type uh, troubles you the most? Is there one in particular that stands out that when you get it, you're like, oh man, it is kind of demoralizing, or what would you say, or is there any?
Well, some of the apartment fires that I've been on have been the most taxing because you're going from level to level, staircases. Some of them have the staircases with the landing and then a staircase up. So that requires a team effort, not just one hand line. You know, those are the most taxing. Basement fires are can make you think about your choices. Man, do I really do I really do I really think I'm going to be an asset to the fire department if I keep getting these basement fires? Those basement fires, because like myself, Mike, when you go into some of these houses, there are motorcycles in the kitchen, there's dirt bikes in the basement, and we've been in basement fires myself where you hear stuff. Just it was an explosion, and it was a dirt bike and the gas tank. It's like, oh my goodness. After you put the fire out, you see how deadly that could have been, pretty much how dangerous I say it is. And thank goodness, as a pipe person, I would say basement fires, the 2-story brick dwellings they get so hot, 900 degrees. It's like a blast furnace. It's literally opening up your oven, and it hits you in the face. They're so tight and they're so small, and then you go in the 5th Battalion when you have the framers, and my hat goes off to the 5th Battalion people, because that's an operation where if it's a basement fire, it can end up through the roof. So I'm gonna say basement fires for a pipe person, and as an officer, apartment fires are just as taxing, because you have to have a bigger perspective. Your leadoff person needs to grab a line now instead of coming in and backing you up per se. I've had a apartment fire with Engine 8. We were there as my 14-inch Engine 8, Cap Williams from Engine 8, and Keith Townsend and Scott Novak. They were on a pipe, and it took all of us, all hands, to put this fire out, and we managed, but it was tough. It was tough. You go through a bottle or two, and you just go on what it is that you can what that people are depending on you. The citizens, the people in this house, the people that live next door to the house is on fire. They don't want this fire, going into Delta, or Bravo. We don't want the exposures. And I take into effect that some of the residents don't have insurance, and this is all that they have. Literally, if that's the television, they don't have insurance on homeowners insurance. So we have to pretty much do what we can to keep the fire in a room or on the floor or just to that one dwelling. We don't want it to cause further damage. If at all possible, we can stop that. So I used to pride myself as a pipe person for 13 years of putting the fires out and not having the chief call for a working fire on second alarm. That's what we did at 14 Engine in the 90s, and that's what they do now. They don't want any other company to come put their fire out safely. We tried to do that. We kept that, and it was I was able to do that, fortunately, because of the fires back in the 90s. The buildings were in a little better shape. Hard to say, but now that more run down, way more vacants, so it's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher now than it was when I started, because the buildings are worse off now.
So you've hit on a lot of really, really amazing topics. And in the beginning, you talked about it didn't matter in the fire service what walk of life you came from, right? Because when that box gets struck, it doesn't care.
No.
So you actually had a front seat to that type of situation, literally, and um, what I wanted to, and a lot of viewers might not know this, but and as you talked about when you first did your introduction, just over a year ago, um, you lost your first acting man, Acting Lieutenant Kelsey Sadler, and your newcomer, rookie firefighter, Kenny Lacayo. That was at a fire just outside your box area, but they were first in and standing behind that motto of, every second counts, and you capitalize on the mistakes of others, and you get there and you get moving. I knew Kelsey personally, and I don't think that a lot of the viewers did. She was a female on 14 engine and passionate, just as you are, and arguably one of the best pipe firefighters that the city had. But
Yep.
I would like to hear about Kelsey from you, because she was yours and you guys were a tight-knit unit.
Wow. Yeah, we were inseparable. We were Batman and Robin, and after a few fires, she became Batman and I was Robin. The most awesome person. They say greatness is a great person. Somebody reminds you of no one else. No one else reminded me of Kelsey, pretty much. And that Monday it was Blakely's vacation option. Saturday, the 22nd and the 24th. And Matt and we would go to Kelsey first and say, what do you want to use and what vacation? If you want to use it all, you can use it all. Kelsey had a planned ski trip with her family. Shouts out to Lacey, my man Brandon, her husband, the whole family, Jerome, Pam, Mila, Lily, Emmett, the entire Norman family and Sadler family. So I took Monday off, the 24th of the fire. Kelsey took Saturday off, and had it been reversed, without a doubt, I would be in fire department heaven with Paul Buttram and Kenny Lacayo right now, and you'd be interviewing Kelsey. If it was the other way around, without a doubt. Pretty much that's it in a nutshell. You'd be talking to Kelsey right now, and I don't know what heaven is for firefighters, but it gotta be a lot of recliners, breakfast, lunch, dinner, a lot of complaints. So if it was the other way around, I wouldn't be here. Pretty much. And with Lacayo, Kenny, man, come on. He shout out to his volunteer company where he spent years there as a teenager. We found that out much later that, well loved, 2 years, man. Everybody Kenny came across just worshiped him because of his smile and his attitude and just a giving person. Unbelievable. He had 6 months with us at 14 Engine. We were coming as one again. We were rebuilding with Kenny and Lieutenant Buttram, man. Joppa Magnolia, the whole family in Joppa Magnolia, his wife Rachel, he came in the job at 10 Truck as a rookie. I can remember him, a little chunky guy, and I would try to get Paul to smile, because his impact was my impact. So I would see, it was D shift, it was D shift. Paul was D shift, and he has so much pride in himself. He was going to make 23 Truck, relevant, and he did. Guess where they were that morning? Front of the building. Guess what? Paul willed them there. That was a Monday, the 24th. On the 22nd, they had a fire. They didn't get to the front of the building. Paul was pissed. Kenny, we were on that fire the 22nd Saturday. We it went just like we normally do. We go in these buildings, sometimes vacant, no injuries to civilians, no injuries to us. We made it home Saturday. Sunday morning, we took a break in between day. Monday, the fatal fire happened. My gosh, and it's been a year and 2 months, almost 400 days, and it's been 400 days of pain for people close to Kenny, Paul, and Kelsey, like you wouldn't believe, Mike. You would believe, because you know how close we are. You know, Ben and Bobby, you all know that it's not just a regular job, man. We sleep together. We eat together. We wash our clothes together. You know, there's no other job that's like that unless the military, of course.
Right.
The military. But yeah, that day was tragic. My gosh, it's been 400 days of pain for me.
I'm sure.
Pretty much. I don't know exact amount of days, but it's been 400 days of, my gosh, you know, like a nightmare.
You guys got me? Can you hear me now?
Got you loud and clear.
I got you. Hey, Lieutenant, I just, I spotty internet here, but I just want to let you know that my heart is with you. I have never had to experience that. I personally have had 3 friends have died in line of duty, but I've never been through anything like you're going through, my friend. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on and talking about them, because that's how they carry those guys on, is to talk about them and talk about what they were. And they say time heals wounds. I'm not sure time will ever heal that wound entirely for you, my brother.
Man. Yeah, the best that the Baltimore City, Mike will tell you, the best that we had to offer, man, on the 24th. Gone. Damn. 400 days, man.
They were, they were great. They were all great. And I'll tell you a funny story about Kelsey. And Bobby and Ben know this story, because I was trying to get Kelsey to come down and do some teaching in Ocean City. I wanted to get her down here because I knew that the minute she walked into the room, people were going to just kind of sit there and say, "What is this?" Here's a female firefighter from the busiest fire service engine in Baltimore City, and Kelsey was just adamant about not doing it. She was not going to get in front of people. She was not going to talk to people. She did not want it. And it would have been the same if I had asked her to come over to the east side of Baltimore and do some instruction, because I can't tell you how many times, like, we asked Kelsey to do something, or
man.
we see Kelsey on the fire ground, and
that's not Kelsey's MO. Mike, you know that, man. For 13 years, man, that's not an MO, man. That's no.
She wouldn't even talk to an East Sider. She wouldn't talk to you if you weren't in her battalion. It was crazy.
Yeah,
but that was the pride that she had for the job, man.
Pride.
It was awesome.
Awesome, man.
It was
same
awesome.
with Mikayo and Paul, man. They you say, man. It's been tough, but you know what? Kenny know that he was doing what he wanted to do. Kelsey was damn sure doing what she wanted to do, and we were each other's safety net. For years, man. It's like, no, that's in the back of our mind. That's never going to happen. So now the friends, man, the family, that's who my heart goes out to every day, man. Every day. It's a list, Mike. And I'm glad that it's people that appreciate Paul, Kelsey, and Kenny. And that's all I have to say about that, man. And I, like I said, had I been working that day, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. Talk to Kelsey, and can't forget about John McMaster, because he's here and he's dealing with some issues, some health issues, and the mental aspect of being here as well. Good man, the best. He's one of us. He's part of that group that we call firemen. Firemen and firefighters. hey,
Well, I'll tell you, Lou. And talking about appreciation, I can't convey to you how much I appreciate you being on here tonight and sharing not only the stories but the knowledge, man. And you know, we talked about your legacy, and you didn't even know that you wrote it. It's just who you are.
yeah, I had no idea. I had to call Matt Blakely to find out how many runs we average a year. I didn't, we just show up.
Right.
And we said they had 5,000 runs last year. I'm like, good gracious, that's a lot. We just show up. And, I was surrounded by good people when I came in, and I just wanted to continue that tradition of 14 engine, the 3rd Battalion. My chief was Chief Huffman, who was a member of 14 engine. He's on my Mount Rushmore, man. I call him my uncle. That's how relationships we have with people, and it just goes on. To my chief before I left was Chief Hudson, cool dude. Met Chief Fan, and all these people are just like, just awesome people, and I wouldn't change a thing except for that dreadful January 24th, man. That was, the inherent dangers of this job just out of nowhere, man.
Well, again, Lou, I can't say enough about it, but I really appreciate you being on here and talking about all this stuff. And I hope that the people listening learn something tonight, because I don't know how you could tune into this and not walk away with a suitcase full of knowledge. And that's what you bring to it, man. So, I know you're in the safety office now. It's a little bit different, but
yes.
30, almost 30 years at Engine 14, you earned whatever you want to do from here. You've earned that.
Okay. All right, Brother Wood. Brother Mike, I like that.
I think this is just a setup for a second edition.
Right. Hey, I'm coming on, and hopefully Mike don't have me pay for dinner Sunday when we go back to work. Sunday and Tuesday, maybe he'll be like, look, that ain't happening. I still got to pay my $20.
Hey, Mike, I'm chipping in. I got him covered.
I'll still have to pay then.
$20? What kind of dinner you having, Lieutenant?
Man. Go ahead, Mike. You can tell him.
It's only 10. It's only 10.
And breakfast.
Oh.
Hey, Lieutenant, I got one thing I wanted to ask you, my friend, while this thing's working here.
Go ahead, Bob.
So I've got to know Mike, and Mike has been a very dear friend of mine in the last couple of years, with training and teaching and bringing some of that Baltimore magic to us in Ocean City, and it's very much appreciated. And we always have that struggle of guys that just you're trying to get them into the job or into what we do, and you see horrible things happen, like what happened to your engine company, and I had some things happen in my life too in this fire service, and after all those things have happened, I still truly believe that every single day was worth it. And talk to me a little bit about how you think this job is worth it. Even through all the tragedies that we endure, tell us why you feel this is all worth it. Your whole career was worth it to do what you did.
Because when you take that oath to be a firefighter, it's almost as if you're being accepted into an organization where an elite organization, not too many people choose to do what we do, and the ones that do, and they really enjoy doing it rubs off on you. You want to be around those people. You want to be around a good engine company. You want to be around a good truck company. My gosh, my hat goes off to those truck guys, man, because they it's like watching an orchestra, man. If you watch a good truck company operate, man, it blows you away. I was brought in the job with 13 trucks and watching them guys operate. It's like, so you going in on a pipe after you see these guys open up that door like a clam. You see them open the window, hit the windows, and you're like, I gotta do my part. because I just watched the best of the best do all this to get me into this place. I can't disappoint them, and you got to do it. So with all that, yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. It's it's bad that things happen, but with Kenny, Paul, and Kelsey, they know that it wasn't we liked them, we loved each other. We loved each other, and they knew that on the job. There's no on the job, off the job. We were always in communication with each other. So it's once that happens, it's magic, man. It's magic. You know that when you got a good company and you're there, and some people will tell you, man, I never wanted to leave. I never wanted to promote. That was me, man. I got there. I kept getting new people that were even more awesome. I had Jason Goodwin, and all he's a chief. I mean, spectacular. I go to the 10 truck. You have Bud Grantland, new guys, Kevin Grezick Sr. It was you surrounded by just good, great people, and you said, this is the best. And you feel safe. You feel almost invincible, which is bad. You feel invincible. You feel invincible. You do. Because we worked with Joe Yingling, Mark Tracy. And when those guys, Jeff Baker, Joey Nocar, when them truck guys get to working, and Timmy Bill, truck 8, you just feel invincible. And that's the downfall. That it's an inherently dangerous job. That's so far in the back of your mind, but you just keep doing it and doing it and pressing on. And that's what we got to do. That's it. And if we take a day off or run off, that would be disgraceful to the people that came before us. And, we can't. We don't take runs off. We don't take runs off. We don't take days off.
I don't think anybody's going to top that.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump in, and we're like Mike said, I don't know how you top that, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, this is I think that the first of a mini series or a second. Like there's gonna be, we're getting Lieutenant Williams to come back on another time and join us again.
There you go.
This was awesome. With that being said, we're gonna kick it around the horn. Actually, we're just gonna go down to Mike because Bobby had his, and you never know with this Tennessee Wi-Fi how things are going to work down there. But we'll kick it down to Mike to wrap it up, and then up to the LT, and then we'll close it out. So go ahead, Mike.
I can't follow anything you said, man. Like you said it all, Lou. All I'm going to do is thank you. Thank you so much for being on here, and thank you for sharing, your knowledge, your stories, and and talking about the good times and the bad times alike. There is nothing. Everyone that tuned in tonight, my God, man, I hope that you are contagious, and I hope to God that it helps spread it out again and kind of re-energizes people, because obviously that is just something that you were born with, and it happens all the time when you're around. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Bobby. Hey, man, I really appreciate coming on here. It's my first time ever. I gotta now that's gonna start. I gotta talk to more people now, man. It's my friends in the job, Charm City Smoke. That's next. My man Ian Horowitz. Gotta shout out to them guys. But hey, thank you so much. It was great being on here. Mike, you the man. Like I said, I met Mike 20 years ago just in the gym, getting it in. It's like BCFD off the job, and he focused, but he wasn't really about conversation. He was about keeping that six pack. But yeah, so it's been. Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you, LT. We're like I said, we're gonna wrap it up. Again, LT, thanks for joining us. Phenomenal show. And if you're watching, this is going to go as a podcast tomorrow morning, so that way you can take it on the go, listen to it as many times, and share it with whoever you want if they didn't get to see the show live. But if you have somebody that they're taking that run off, they're taking that shift off, they're still there, but they need a little reinvigorating, they got to watch it. They got just the passion and the love of the job from the LT is phenomenal. And we go on shift tomorrow. Bobby's off. Good for you, man. Enjoy your trip. Hope you guys are having a great time. But I can tell you, just from tonight, my shift tomorrow is already better. Haven't even gotten there yet. I'm already looking forward to going back to work. So thank you, sir. It has been an honor to chat with you tonight. Mike and Bobby, it's always a pleasure to get to hang out and talk to you guys. Just a little bit of housekeeping as we here we got Dean Denning. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Battalion Chief Charlie Browning is next. Can you guys make that happen? You work on that.
Mike could get that done. Yeah, that's no problem. Yes, I can talk to him and smooth him over. Like if Mike got me to come on, then Chief Browning is next.
Mark, are we gonna have to buy his dinner too? I'm in either way. So 2 weeks from tonight, the 30th of March, we have Chief of Safety from the FDNY, Chief Lieb, coming on. We're going to talk about fires and places of worship. Chief Lieb, if you guys haven't been seeing or watching from the FDNY, when he was in charge of the training academy, put out a ton of great information about stuff that they're running and sharing that information and sharing their experiences with everybody in the fire service. So I'm really looking forward to that show as well. And then into April and into May, I think we've got them scheduled out pretty far. We've got smoke divers. We've got smoke jumpers. We got a great cast coming up. Like I said, we're going to get the LT back on. We'll reach out and set that up. But we've got a great show tonight. We've got a great lineup coming. So keep in touch, keep watching, and for those that are working, those going on shift, you guys be safe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Lou.
Funny, Mike.